Hey everybody, and welcome back to another reaction video. This one's going to be on the long-awaited signing of Tatsuya Imai, who finally, right before his post-it window ended, signed a deal with the Houston Astros for 3 years and around $65 million. The final figures, because there's a lot of incentives and stuff baked in there, have not been fully released yet, but apparently it's going to be in the $55 to $65 million range with a bunch of different things that we worked in there. Those details will come out, I'm sure, over the next couple of days. But the big thing here, contractually, I think that makes news, is the fact that this 3-year contract has opt-outs after every individual season, which means if Mike comes over and balls out, he's going to be back on the market next offseason. As for the deal itself, I'm going to hop over here and have some B-roll playing of Imai actually pitching overseas. You guys can see that. This is the only way I can avoid NPB copyright, so I'm sorry it's going to be kind of small there on the screen. But Imai has a high 90s fastball, 96 to 99, as you can see here in this post from Rawson. He also has a changeup and a slider. His changeup is considered to be relatively below average at this point. He has a splitter as well. That pitch flashes plus at times, but is a little inconsistent. His main off-speed pitch is going to be a slider, which you can see here from that little replay, actually breaks the wrong way. It's similar to Trey Yesavich's slider. It actually has more movement into a righty and away from a lefty than the opposite, which makes it an atypical pitch. He comes around from a 3/4 arm slot a lot of the time, which was actually a big change he made mechanically over this prior offseason. This is his Fangraphs page. You can see the numbers here. Very good year last year. Last couple seasons, been good at punching guys out. Less than 2.5 walks per 9 innings last year was a huge upgrade. That was one issue, as you can see in the early half of his career, was he walked way too many guys. Even though he was striking out guys at a pretty healthy clip as far back as 2022, when you walk over 5, you give back a lot of that value. So for him, getting that walk rate to an actually decent level was absolutely massive. Good for his FIP, as you can see as well. And I think is what attracted MLB teams to him in the first place. You can see from his Fangraphs rankings, I don't take Fangraphs grades all that seriously, if I'm going to be honest. A 50 grade future value, if I'm not mistaken, is like a 3-4 starter per their metrics. As you can see, they see him even now as having an above average fastball, potential to be really good. Same for the slider, changeup below average, splitter, potential to be good, but below average, and command below average, with more than likely projected below average. I'm a little higher on him than I think a lot of people were in the baseball space. When you throw a fastball from the angle that he throws it, at the velocity that he throws it, I think it's going to be a good pitch. I think that the swing profile of MLB hitters is going to lead to more strikeouts for him, which is going to help him drastically. He also has a good ground ball rate for a guy that would be considered to be a power pitcher, which that's going to be really good for him in Houston, where balls have a tendency to fly out to left field. That slider as well, I think, could be one of the more nasty pitches in Major League Baseball because of its unique properties and that unique arm slot that he's throwing it from. So I personally think that this is one of the better deals in Major League Baseball for the money that he is getting. He's literally getting paid right now like a decent 3-4 starter. And he has potential 2-starter upside. I mean, you can see from those numbers, right, just what kind of production you potentially could be getting from this dude. Sub-2 ERA last year in Japan. It's a different league. I don't think he's going to be anywhere near close to a Yoshinobu Yamamoto, but you're not paying him like that. I also am very interested to see how this is going to affect the trend of overseas players signing in the big leagues, specifically from Asian leagues, particularly Japan, because this is the same thing that Murakami essentially did. These are bet deals. They're betting on themselves to come over here, have good starts to their big league careers, and then sign big deals in comparison to committing for a really long time. I'm not 100% sure if any big league teams actually wanted to commit to him for a number of years. Maybe they were trying to do so and just had a lower AAV, but he took a relatively decent AAV, very advantageous when it comes to his options to just opt out and hit the market next year. And he's not tied down to any one spot. Maybe he doesn't like Houston. Maybe he doesn't like the way that the team runs the operations. And if he has even a mediocre season, he can probably get 18 million. I mean, that's if it is 18 million on average around there, that's less than a qualifying offer last year. He can almost certainly get that next offseason with even a 4 ERA this year if he has even remotely decent peripherals. So overall, I think this is a great contract for the Astros. I think this is a great contract for Imai. It's definitely lower than he wanted, but again, he's betting on himself, and I got to respect that. Overall, I would say the move, if I had to grade it for Houston, this, to me, is an A+. There's really nothing you're losing here. There's not a lot of risk. If it ends up being a $50 million investment that goes a little bit by the wayside, I don't see his floor as being anything lower than, like, let's say a 4 or 5, right? I don't see him going higher than a 4 or 5 ERA. I think that's very unlikely. And if you end up paying a guy to give you 180 innings a year at around a 4 to 4.5 ERA for 3 years at $50 million, it's not great, but it's also not the worst value, right? And if he ends up realizing his ceiling, I think, is a 2-starter, let's say with around a 3.2 to 3.5 ERA with great strikeout numbers and relatively low walk rates, you've got a guy that, honestly, in the open market probably could have gotten at that production-wise maybe $30 million a year, and you're going 25 to 30 million, and you're going to get him for significantly cheaper than that. So overall, great move. I'm excited now to see what Okamoto's market's going to be like, because he's coming up at his posting deadline as well. We don't have a ton of news as to who he's going to go to. When that happens, I'll be back here again. Thanks for checking in.
All right, everybody, if you made it this far, I appreciate you watching. And if you did, consider checking out any of these other videos on your screen right now for other content just like this. Also, if you ever see anything you'd like to see me detail in the video, feel free to reach out to my email, basebpoet@gmail.com, and if I end up using your idea, I'll give you a shout out. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day.